Welcome to episode 413 of the Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast. And tonight we got two Scorpio risings, and I present to you best-selling Amazon, and I think we're on a little bit on New York Times, best-selling author, spiritual sci-fi author, Mr. Brandon Ellis. Brandon, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you tonight?
Thank you. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, man, this is just like a full circle moment. I know years ago you reached out to me and we did, I believe, a chart reading on your career for being the author, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so actually, this is kind of interesting to the audience. So what was it that made you reach out to me, but also about getting a reading about your writing? Because you've been an author professionally since 2013, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I saw you on a near-death experience, like a video podcast on YouTube.
Oh, was it Jeff Mara?
I don't know who it was. It just randomly came up, and you immediately, I just like felt a magnetism toward you, and so I contacted you right away. And the reason why I wanted the business astrology reading was because for about 3 years at that time, maybe 2 years, I was doing very badly with my business. And it was actually your reading that got me back to kind of writing from my heart, because I had been writing from my heart and doing very well and had 8 bestsellers from 2013 to 2020.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to go into it in a different direction for many reasons that's too long to talk about. But and that direction involved including other people that I've never included in my writing, as in editors and writers and all that stuff. And it was, I got into military sci-fi out of it. I wasn't expecting that. And it was like, the military sci-fi writers are incredible. They're awesome. Yeah. I'm just not one of them. And I attempted to do it for 4 years and I was getting nowhere. So your astrology reading, and I didn't enjoy it at all. I just kind of felt like, okay.
Military writing, yeah.
Yeah, I did not enjoy it. It felt like it was too violent for me. It felt like chipping away at my heart. And anyway, so I'm like, because I didn't believe, I just thought I was lucky. I thought I was lucky and that
Wait a minute. How could you be lucky with 8 best-selling, Amazon best-selling author, 8 books? Like that's not like luck is like 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe I was convinced. I don't know, but I felt like one thing I was being told was, because I was writing what's called archaeology, ancient civilization, ancient alien, sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I was told that was kind of going out of style. So go to what's in style.
They were wrong.
Yeah. At the time it was military sci-fi was really in style, and people were doing all my friends, my sci-fi writer friends were doing really well with it. And then I got your reading, and then I was like, okay, I had written this book called Echoes of Time, and it was from my heart, and it was about the Hopi Native Americans in Atlantis and Lemuria and how that all tied together. And even the Younger Dryas and how that all tied together. Younger Dryas is a geological event that happened a while ago. And so I got that out. And again, I mean, I wrote that with, and I had a co-author with it as well, Douglas Richards. And we got books 1, 2, and we're working on 3 now. And it's been a huge it's been fantastic. And it's all what
you guys get on the New York Times list?
That one did not. I think it hopefully will.
Okay.
It was a bestseller. It released really, it's probably the best-selling book I've ever had. And it's doing really well. And it's probably my best written book I've ever done.
Okay, so honey, I want to get back to that because you're kind of,
I'm going all over
quickly. Echoes of Time, this is your current release that's out now, but it's a series of 3 books. Is that correct?
A series of 3 books, yes.
Okay, so tell us the names. And I want you to explain to people, because most people do not know about this youngest of Dryas. Like it was a great flood or something. Please explain this, because this is really fascinating.
Okay, so the Younger Dryas happened about 13,000 years ago. The science says it happened 12,900 years ago.
Okay.
And this is an event that is a surprise, is a near extinction event. If it would happen today, we'd be back in the Stone Age tomorrow.
Wow.
And so if there was some type of some people believe, even some historians, some Hopi historians like Elder Oswald White Bear Fredericks, he talked about it a lot.
Okay.
He believed there was an advanced civilization before the Younger Dryas, right before it, and that, well, pre-flood. So the Younger Dryas, what happened?
Can I ask you, I hate to interrupt, but is this sort of maybe where they got the flood story from the Bible, or is this after, or is this prior?
This is the big flood.
Okay.
So we have almost 1,000 cultures with this flood story.
Yes, I know that.
And what some big event happened, they don't really know what it was. But all of a sudden, at 12,900 years ago, Europe, South America, some of South America, all of North America were on fire. We're completely on fire. Something happened. And at that time, we were coming out of the Ice Age, but we still had these big glacial sheets over parts of North America, all of Canada, parts of Europe, Greenland, all of that stuff. And these did a rapid melt when this event happened. And that was the big flood. And so this big flood wiped out what's called the Clovis people, which was the North American people. They just disappeared. And it also wiped out the big, like, saber-toothed tigers, the woolly mammoths, the woolly rhinos, the beavers that are big as bears. You know, we had 4 different elephant types just in North America alone. We had an American lion that was the size of a horse. And we had a sloth walking around in North America that was 13 feet tall. And so you had all these animals just in the blink of an eye, done.
So can I ask you, does that sort of connect to, because a lot of people theorize and feel, and I wonder about your thoughts on it, that some of those animals may exist, as well as potentially another 5 to 7 continents beyond the ice wall in the North Pole. So does that resonate or connect with you? And in terms of your research for your books, do you think that that could be the reality, that they do still exist, but beyond the ice wall?
I don't see if there's any, I don't know, but I don't see why there wouldn't be. I mean, even if you look at some books that I've researched, they've even found, woolly mammoths still in the wild here. And so, but that was years ago. I don't know if that's around anymore, but they witnessed it, or they had tribes talk about it, things like that.
Right.
Yeah. So with the ice wall, I don't know. I've not done any research on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that in the next book series. So with Echoes of Time, is the 3rd book finished? And if so, when will it be released? And give us a brief synopsis of the first 2 books so people can go and we can order this. You guys, all the information is down below, but just tell them where they can get your books, and especially the Echoes of Time series.
All my books you can get on Amazon. I used to sell them on every other platform, but that didn't do as well. Amazon's just, for some reason, just people buy like crazy on there. And so I just sell on Amazon. And so Echoes of Time, which is the series I'm working on now, book 3 will probably be out. Gosh, I'm working on that book right now, and that probably February, sometime around then. It was supposed to be done January 15th, but I came back to the family for a couple months, and it's so hard to get the schedule going. And I live in Bali, so I moved to, I didn't move. I came here in November to be with the family and just didn't get enough of the book done. And so I'm going back to Bali in a couple of days, or about a week. So I'll get back on the book after that when I get back. But anyway, so Echoes of Time. So here's what it's got some fantastical things in it, like a starship that this character named Robert Shaw finds, and he's an archaeologist. He's a Mesoamerican archaeologist, and he looks at he does deep research in the Maya and the Hopi and all of this stuff, and he's trying to piece ancient Atlantis, ancient Lemuria together, because he doesn't believe it's a farce. He doesn't believe it's just a myth, and he's finding evidence of the truth. And one thing that the Hopi believed, and I can't say all the Hopi believed, because there's many different clans with the Hopi, like the Bear Clan, the Bow Clan, the Coyote Clan, and I could keep going with Snake Clan and all this stuff. And they all have their own different belief structures, different lore. But so I really focused on a guy named Oswald White Bear Fredericks, and he's an elder, or was an elder. He died in the 90s. He was an elder for Coyote and also Bear Clan, and he claims, and he there's been a couple books written about him, one in the 60s and one in the 80s. And he claims from his ancestors, and because his clan is known as the History Keepers, he told the story of the Hopi, how they migrated, what happened, that there was a continent called Cascara, and that continent sank due to a war with Atlantis. Cascara is in the Pacific Ocean, also named Lemuria. Parts of it are still around. Parts of it, Hawaii is parts of Lemuria. And so he explained in his writings and also in his interviews that they believed in something called flying shields, and those were like they look like UFOs. The way that they put them onto the rocks or the petroglyphs, they look like UFOs, and he believed that they were aliens and all that stuff that were actively visiting, and with knowledge, like humans knew that they're actively visiting, and they're guides, spiritual guides, and all that stuff for the Hopi. And that this big event happened, a big war, and destroyed both Atlantis and Lemuria because they were high technology. He believed in beam technology, like lasers and all that stuff that they had, and that the Lemurians had to migrate via flying shields and boats from the fallen Cascara, which is Lemuria, to South America, and then they migrated up north. And that's what he believed, and that's what his lore was telling him, and what his ancestors were telling him. And so anyway, so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to share that story, because I also have near-death experience friends, those who were told that a similar event did occur, that Atlantis and Lemuria did have a war. I don't know the exact time frame. In my book, I said the war created, with this high technology, this Younger Dryas event. So in my main character, he finds this starship, he's searching for it, he knows there's one. This part's fake. This part's not part of reality. But he finds it. The starship also has been searching for someone like him, and it takes him to, because the Hopi also believe in stargates and portals, and so it takes him through a stargate, and he's catapulted back into the past 13,000 years ago, when Atlantis and Lemuria were still thriving. And just before the war. And so I show all of that, and his job is to stop this war, so we don't get thrown down into three-dimensional thinking. Because back then, in Atlantis Lemuria time, we were more fifth-dimensional thinking, fifth-dimensional consciousness. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this book. And through books 1 and 2, he's actively trying to stop this war. He's going to be pushed down many times. He's going to come out strong many times. He's going to be the hero. He's going to be the, you know, the wimp. All that stuff that the characters, that creates like a hero's journey. And so, yeah, anyway, that's where, and so I'm writing book 3 now. I'm halfway through book 3.
Okay. You just sparking off a million questions. Hello to everybody in the chat. We're going to get to the chat in a second. I briefly want to introduce, because we're going to jump around with some of your astrology, but just so you guys know, Brandon, like me, is a Scorpio rising. He's a Gemini sun in the 8th house and the Leo moon in the 10th. Really dynamic, and he's got that Uranus on the ascendant. So we're going to get back to that. So before we go to the chat, and I'm sure you'll know some of the names, right? Some of our Knowledge is Love Tribe family are probably here too. But I wanted to ask you, because this is fascinating. I'm sure it's different for each book. I guess let's focus on Echoes of Time. What is the time for you in terms of researching all this information and knowledge, and then how much of it is it being poured or downloaded into you, right? Because I think some of this is your spiritual gifts and your intuition as well. So what's that combination? And you don't have to give us exact, but like a ballpark figure of the research before writing these amazing books.
I've been reading about the Hopi since the 1990s. And so I've had tons of research. It might not sound like I know too much about them, but I know a lot. And so I'm doing my best to honor the Hopi Native Americans, and I'm not a Hopi Native American, so I don't know if I am. I'm just doing my best because I really love the Native Americans. And my grandpa said that we're part Blackfoot Native American, though I don't look it. My mom does. I got my dad's Scottish side. But anyway, but it took me a long time to write this book. You know, I had it on the shelf for a long time because I was too nervous. I didn't, you know, because this was the next book I was going to write before I decided to do the military stuff. Yeah. And so this has just been sitting there, me being nervous about it. I rewrote it so many times. And I just sat and I prayed. I was like, okay, should I release this on my own or should I get some help? And about a year and a half before I released it, I did a prayer and I came up with this guy's name, Douglas Richards. And he came in and he really helped rewrite a lot of it. And he gave me all these ideas and all that stuff. But he kept the plot. Because he knows that a lot of this, there's truth to a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so he just, you know, was anyway, he made it amazing. And
I'm sure both of you made it amazing, but that's so awesome. I mean, how did you know about him or connect with Douglas?
He's a New York Times bestseller. He's a thriller writer. And I'd read his books. I just threw it out there to him.
Really?
And he said his first response was like, I get 20 authors a month asking me, you know, so I apologize if I never get to this. And, you know, he doesn't publish with other authors really. Wow. And his beta team read it and his beta team said it was really good. And so he's like, okay, beta team says it's really good. So I'll get on this with you. And he got on it with me, and he knows how to write. There's a reason why he's a New York Times bestseller, and he reshaped the book to be what it is today. And wow. I couldn't have done it without him. He's amazing.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to jump in and read it. So let's go to the chat. You can say hello to some of the people and read out the names and any, you know, questions and stuff. I'm sure they're interested to jump on in the conversation.
Yeah, let me see here. Numeralytics, peace and love, family.
That's Queen B.
C-Mel is hello, and Car, this is great. Hello, beautiful people this is Alana. I'm excited to hear from Brandon. He is doing what so many of us want to do, living overseas and building a successful career. And Lana said, what I noticed is that he said he wasn't happy. This is powerful. Let's live from our hearts and follow the path of happiness. That is so true.
Yeah.
Like I got that from you, and I even fought that after I got that astrology reading from you, the first one, because I gotten 2 from you.
Yeah.
The first one was really, I will be successful if I follow my heart. That was what you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but if I follow my heart, it's gonna be this. This
And
is
I remember that. And you know what's
yeah.
so funny? When you came to me, I got excited because I was like, especially once I brought up your chart, and I was just like, oh wow, Scorpio rising in this Leo moon. And I was just like, this guy, he's got it, right? That Gemini sun and Mercury in the 8th house. And I was just like, I was just like, yeah, you gotta write from your heart. Like, I mean, it was clear as day in the chart. And I was just like, so I'm so glad that I was a part of your
Yeah,
journey.
you got me to do this.
That's
So
so awesome.
I'm eternally grateful.
I know. That's awesome. All right. So who else? We have any questions?
So so the next one is from Car 2409 wrote, oh my God, I love the Dagwood Bumstead poster. So I'm in my dad's office
That's
and
awesome.
I didn't even know there's a poster there and I don't even know. I guess that's Dagwood.
Okay. I didn't
And a
know what
lot
it was.
of sloths, they're the coolest animals ever, but a loose tiger the size of a horse could be scary. Well, there were saber-toothed tigers back then with just these fangs. Yeah, I don't know. Like that wasn't too long ago that we walked amongst these animals
These beings,
that
yeah.
were giant. They're called what are they called? Oh, I forgot. There's a name for animals that are that big.
Yeah.
But I forgot the name. Bright Evening of Greatness and Love, Erica, Alana, Brandon, everyone. That's from Teresa Miller and
Hey.
Alana Taylor. Hello, all. Many of us have direct connections to Atlantis and Lemuria. Hi, Big E and Brandon from Debbie from Texas, Virgo. And I wanted to answer one more of your questions is about like, do I feel like I'm getting downloads? And
Yeah.
I think I do. I'm sure I do. I'm
Yeah.
sure many authors do. I don't. I just stories will come to my mind, and so maybe
Well,
those.
what about at night? Let me ask you this. In terms of your dreams, let's say when you're tackling the Echoes of Time or the Jackson Stone series, in between days of writing, do you feel that sometimes maybe it could be going for a walk or even literally when you're dreaming at night? Do things like kind of pour in like that?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, and I've even written books from dreams. And
See, and that's so you guys. Not only is Brandon the Gemini Sun in the 8th, the Leo Moon in the 10th with the Scorpio rising, he has Uranus on the ascendant and the Neptune in Sag. So that's really powerful. And to me, even having the Neptune opposing the Sun and Mercury, that would even give you insight between the realms that you could use literally for writing, right? I mean, so that's like kind of, yeah, it's all in your chart. So I was like, when I saw your chart, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's an amazing writer. So, okay, I want to ask you this because I think this is fascinating to just kind of backtrack. When did you realize you were a talented writer? Like, we all have sometimes dreams or goals, or we may take a class or meet a teacher. Like, what was it that sparked Brandon Ellis, the author?
there's a couple of times I told you one of them, but I'll get back to that one. But I just remembered in high school, there was this English teacher that none of us wanted. His name was Mr. Graham because he was the hardest. And of course I get him. And I'm reading I was reading Huck Finn.
Yes.
And I wanted to rewrite some of it. And so I created my own little story on the side. I was supposed to be reading, but here I am writing. And I'm kind of, they called me, I was kind of a rebel back then, but I was a quiet rebel. So if a teacher told me to do something, I just wouldn't do it. And he told me to get up because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to. So he told me to get up in front of the class and read it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, get up now and read it. I'm like, no, And so my friend Brian, who's a really good guy, says, I'll read it, trying to get me out of being in trouble. And he gets it and he just grabs it and goes up and reads it. And I was surprised. Mr. Graham said that was fantastic. I need to get into writing. So in college, I did a oh gosh, what's it called? Creative writing class.
Okay.
Uh, the teacher was also difficult. Not difficult. He was a very good teacher, but he was hard on me, especially. He would read my short stories because we do 3 short stories a semester. He read
Okay.
my short stories in front of everybody and just rip them apart. And I
Oh,
thought it was terrible. I was like, and I kept working so hard to so I didn't get read in front of everybody. And finally, somebody says, "You know, he only reads the ones and rips them apart who he thinks is a good author." And I said, "Oh, I didn't know that." And so at the end of the semester, he pointed to me in front of everybody and said, "I will not be surprised if Brandon Ellis is a best-selling author in 2 years." And then he asked me to come see him after class. And so
wow.
that shocked the heck out of me because I'd never thought I was, I liked writing. I loved it. I never thought I was that good at it. And
Well,
so,
that's an amazing compliment and and just like a, you know, kind of that like little push and that fuel, right? Like
yeah,
someone that you kind of feared and revered and respected, who you thought was chewing you up all year or semester, is then saying, "Yeah, 2 years, this guy's going to be like the cat's meow, right? The best-selling author." That's really powerful.
yeah.
That's I
So
love when you said the quiet rebel, right? Because that, yes, you are, right? Uranus on the ascendant. Would you say in some ways that you are the black sheep of the family?
100%. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like nobody. I mean, uh, my parents are kind of coming around to the way I think, I guess,
Okay.
but everybody else thinks I'm just a nut. So, I
I
mean, I don't
love
blame them.
I love it. Love it. So let me ask you this because you mentioned, and I think this is powerful for anybody watching and even on the replay to kind of get this and what this means, right? Because we were just talking about writing from the heart, but I think it's powerful for you in the purity of your writing to stay kind of true to thyself and not get maybe so commercial or sell out your soul or different things. Like explain that and your sort of mindset being authentic to Brandon Ellis, the man and the
Yeah.
creative writer, and what that means.
Selling out is a huge fear of mine.
Mm,
Uh, and that's one thing I don't want to do. And then with that, I have a fear of if I do have a good book and if by chance what many authors want is our book to become a TV show or a movie, I hope I don't sabotage myself because I think some of the books I've written is important for people to read because when I write, I want to educate. And so
yes.
I'm bringing in some information that they perhaps didn't know. That is actually true information.
Yeah.
And so, um, yeah. And I, I guess you just gotta, for me, I just write what I love. And again, for those 4 years of not writing what I loved, I was killing myself, but I'm back to now writing what I love. And if you write what you love, I don't see how that can go wrong.
Yeah. No.
Even if things go wrong, you're sticking with your heart, you're sticking to your truth. And so that's kind of how I see it. And
I love that. Now, okay, so I want you to backtrack before the writing because you're kind of a sports guy, right? You played high school basketball and baseball, all state. You could talk about that briefly, but you were a sports massage therapist.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when was this and how did you get into that? And I assume you definitely you're on a Scorpio, Neptune Sag. You're focused on health and healing people as well, right?
Yeah, health was huge for me. Um, I was a sports therapist, but before that, I played football. Then my parents said I couldn't play it anymore because they're worried I'd get injured. So I stuck with baseball and basketball. And basketball is a all league,
Okay.
and I, and baseball is all state. And I don't know why I was so good at baseball. It made no sense to me. I was good at baseball for some reason. And colleges came and watched me. I was asked to go to colleges and I turned it down. Why? Because I wanted to play basketball. So I tried to walk on a college basketball and that didn't work. But I was on the practice team. Um,
Okay.
so, but yeah, then that was when I got into writing. But ultimately, I started working for a guy named Tony Robbins. Everybody knows Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And through working with him, I really wanted to help people really badly because for some reason that was a push for me, and I wanted to do it in the health industry. And people who was not Tony, but other people working there said, "Why don't you try massage?" And I didn't even know much about it, and so I had people showing me what it's like, and I even got a massage. And I was like, "Oh, this helps." And so that's when I got into it. And I had a 20-year career as a sports massage therapist, one of the most successful in Northwest, the Pacific Northwest.
Wow.
When I was so successful and doing so well that that other massage therapists wanted me to teach them the techniques I've learned. Because, oh, sorry, just a sec.
Right, my phone.
That's all right. That was my dad.
Hey, Dad.
And so
that's pretty impressive. I mean, so you were not just big in Oregon, you're saying the whole like Oregon, Washington.
Yeah, because I was teaching all over. So I created these for 5 years. I was teaching seminars throughout a lot of places. Like, you know, I even went to Idaho and California and, you know, all that over there.
So, okay. So for you, was that in some ways, have you ever noticed in terms of you having healing hands and working with people, do you think in some ways some of that was maybe doing some Reiki and not even realizing it?
Well, yeah, I did. I learned as a 17-year-old. I took Reiki 1 and 2.
Oh,
I
see?
was doing Reiki. And then I learned, have you ever heard of Doreen Virtue?
Doreen Virtue. No.
She did something called angel therapy practitioner. She's now not in the New Age movement at all, but she taught some stuff that I learned as well. And then there's Barbara Brennan, her stuff. So all this energy healing I did before my sports therapy.
Wow. So that was kind of like a combo platter that your patients didn't even realize, right?
Yeah. And
which made you stand out even more.
Some of them wanted me to, they learned that I could do it. And so they want me to just do that sometimes. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I love that, you know, and this is where you guys, and we'll get back to the chat in a second, but you see, Brandon, this is where our gifts, the same gifts that you have for like massage therapy and healing, they just kind of like switch over when you take it with the pen, right? And the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really like it's, you know, and it's almost layered like that double entendre that we could see in the birth chart, right?
Yeah.
Because with your sun and Mercury and Gemini in 8th house for a Scorpio rising, it's like having healing hands, but it's like the Reiki with the Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, like really, you know, tapping into the spiritual realm to transform the people in their bodies, just like you would transform the information, whether it's about Atlantis or Lemuria or, you know, ancient Kemet or, you know, Egypt and for your books. So that's just like, that's beautiful, man.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
I really love that. So, okay. So you want to see if we have any more questions and see what's going on in the chat?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like the same. Oh no, we got more.
Yeah.
Sorry.
More.
Where am I? Okay, so from Alana, Brandon, do you see yourself in any of your characters? Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Gosh, I try not to put myself in characters, but I'm sure I am. With the main character Robert Shaw of this one, I think there's a lot of me in it, but I try to fashion him in another character that I watch, a geologist that I watch on YouTube. That
Awesome.
that knows all this stuff about the Younger Dryas.
But he doesn't know that you're kind of using.
He has no idea. I mean,
amused. I love. Oh my god, that's so great.
And sometimes people are like, because I have to make characters that are bad, the bad guys, and so, and they won't understand why I had a character do like this, do something, and I'm like, well, that's not me. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I just have to make it real to the character. I can't make it real to me. So anyway, so. Alana says, you were divinely guided to reach out to this man. Oh yeah, definitely. I was divinely guided to reach out to Eric. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's so awesome because and then I remember when you came back the second time, and in my head I was thinking, God, I just want to do a full birth chart reading for this guy. He's doing, the writing and the career stuff, and I'm like, this chart is full of I was just like, oh my God. So I was just like, and in my head, and I'm like, and then I think I wrote back to you about your writing and stuff, and I was telling you that I write and stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
God, I hope I meet him one day,
I get to meet you soon.
I know, exactly. Right. We're going to meet this week. Okay. So who was Brandon when he was 10 years old? And could you have ever imagined the family, the 3 kids, the wife, and
No.
like,
I've got 3 kids, a wife, and I never even thought about having kids, but I thought I was going to be a professional basketball player. That's
at
what
10, really?
no doubt in my mind. And I mean, I was good, but I wasn't that good.
Right.
And but at age 9, I prayed actually that for me to be an author, because I started reading I started reading books, and I really enjoyed it. And I
At
had
age
all these
9, praying to be an author?
I prayed to be an author. I wrote it I just wrote it down. Like I prayed and then I wrote it down. I don't know where I put that.
Hello, manifesting.
Yeah. So
See?
it worked out. And but I also never thought I'd be an author. I just like while I was giving massages, I was just like, I have this itch, this yearning to write books, and I can't get this out. And then the first books I wrote 3 books, and the editor said I should never write, I'm not an author, that I shouldn't do all this. And so, which makes sense. I mean, people get that all the time with acting and writing and with their lives. And all that did was piss me off. And I just was like, okay, I'll just learn more. So I'll learn to write.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And
you can't tell a Gemini and a Leo moon not to do something. They're gonna be like,
it's you kind of get the opposite results.
Yeah. I know that. Having Leo children and a Gemini son, that's not gonna fly too good. So that's really fascinating. So you really manifested that, even though your heart was all into playing basketball. So this is fascinating for me. Tell us about the Jackson Stone series. And is that one of your most popular book series?
It was a bestseller. It's not one of my most popular. My most popular is this one I've written now, and another one called Project Atlantis.
Okay, well, explain those. Start with Jackson and then Project Atlantis. But Jackson Stone, what is that about? Yeah.
Jackson Stone, I like to write things that happened or that are kind of true, or at least I think are true.
Right.
Jackson Stone, it's a kind of a murder mystery, and but it's kind of like X-Files meets murder mystery. And so there was something that happened back in the 59, I believe, 1959, in Russia, and it's called the Dyatlov Pass. I can never say that out loud. Okay. Dyatlov Pass incident, and these 9 or 7 or 8 or 9. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought.
Is this where they met some aliens, the Anunnaki or something?
No, what they were doing was these 9 experienced hikers. Even some of them were trained hikers that brought people on hiking trips. They went out to this place called Dyatlov Pass, something they've done many times, and they set up a tent and never returned. And so when the investigators went out to see what the heck happened, it was a complete mystery, because all of these people were dead. They had no outside physical, I guess, issues or like stabbings or anything. They were just dead. But they had their internal organs, their organs were as if they'd been hit by a Mack truck. They were destroyed. And that's one of the ways that they died, they believed. And they were covered in radiation. And so, something scared them so much that they were outside in their underwear, because they were going to sleep for the night, which they think was happening. Instead of just going out through the tent's door, they took a knife and cut their way out as if someone was trying to get in and they were trying to get away from them.
Oh,
And they
wow.
ran, and they were found not far from the site and all dead. And the tribes around that area, there was a couple of things that happened. They said they saw lights, big lights around that area. The tribe said that. And also that the Russian military was there the next day, looking it over, didn't touch anything, and just left. Didn't report it. And to this day, it's still unsolved.
So this is the Jackson Stone series?
Yeah.
How many books in the
He's
series?
solving
Is
it,
this
is what he's doing. So he's solving it in this, this event happens. But I put it in present time where I'm from, which was Mount Hood area in Oregon.
Okay.
And I made it there. So it's present time there. And I made it a UFO incident and all that.
Is this a series of 3 books as well?
Series of 3 books, yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the difference for you as a writer in terms of just a one-off or feeling the need to create a series? Do you feel that pulls in audience members more? Or is it just your cup of what's your feeling?
My cup of tea. I tried to do one-offs. I thought a couple of my books I thought would be one-offs, and they weren't. You just kept going.
Okay.
And so it's just kind of how I write. And I know Stephen King does the one-offs, or a lot of them, and sometimes I wish I did, but I just can't. Like somebody was saying today, it was a joke. Like this author I know, she wrote something on Facebook, and she said, I always say I'm going to write a short story, and then that turns into a 9-book series. so it's interesting. So
No, it says a lot about your intent and your discipline, but also your passion. So give us the mind of a writer, and then we'll get back to any questions in the chat. If you guys have any questions about even his astrology placements or his writing, what is your routine to sit down and to write a series? Like, what's going on? What's your strategy? I don't want all the secret sauce because you may not want to share that, but just the nuts and bolts to inspire anybody watching or here live that is like, I want to write, but I'm not sure where to go or where to begin.
I do a couple of different things, but I'll just get to what I was going to say. I start with a routine every morning. I do about an 1.5-hour routine with his breath work, meditation, gratitude, all that stuff. And then to write a book, I need an outline. So I'll come up with the idea. And the way I come up with the idea, if it doesn't just come to me like downloaded, or if it does come to me downloaded or what I think is downloaded, and I don't have it all, I will close my eyes, put my hands going like this.
Okay.
I'll sit there for 10, 20 minutes waiting for my mind to clear. And finally I will feel it, because my mind goes a million miles per hour all the time.
Yeah, Gemini mind is.
Yeah, it's too much sometimes. And so it takes me forever just to get to clear. And then finally I will know the moment it does. And it just boom, and everything. And then I'll ask the questions like, okay, what happens here? Okay, what happens there? Okay, what happens there? And I'll get the visual in my head of what happens, like a movie. And so
that's awesome.
So that's kind of how I do it. And then I make an outline of it. I write it down. I make sure I have it all so I don't forget. And then I just write from there. I have my outline up here. I do an outline per chapter. So I create a big outline, then I do an outline per chapter. It kind of takes
an outline per chapter.
Yeah,
that's a good discipline.
And then I'll go from chapter to chapter. It just works for me. And the outline doesn't mean you stay with the outline, because as you write, new stuff's going to be coming through to you through your fingers, and you just kind of put that down. And then the editor at the end will be like, okay, this is too much over here, and they cut it and all that stuff. And so you get a lot of you write a book. When you write a book, it's usually a lot longer than the final copy. Than the finished draft.
Okay. See, and that's interesting for me, right? My wife and I were writing right now, my first astrology book. But for me, as a screenplay writer and as a playwright, I know when I wrote my first play, the Virgo side I had to just kind of like let go of it being perfect. And just as I was telling somebody today, you got to throw the Frisbee out there, and just trust that what you wrote was good. And I think for me, what my strong trait was from the actors said, because I'm a professional actor, part of the Screen Actors Guild, is getting in the mindset of the characters so that they really feel like alive.
Yes.
And so other actors loved working with me because I was like that writer's actor or the actor's writer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so and so I like what you said, because I would do that too, the visualization, but I know sometimes I would talk out loud. Like I would almost speak in the female voice to like get the mindset, and then speak in the accent of, this character who may have a Spanish accent, or, so all these different things. Do you feel?
That's a great idea. I'd never do that. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's really, and so that really, for me, was a way to breathe like, like real soul and life into the characters, that I would morph and shapeshift. Because see, your Neptune's in the second house, mine's in the first house. So for me, as a sketch comic and as an actor, I can morph and become anybody. So that's how I would do it, the characters, and then write as if I'm that person, just sharing and writing.
Okay.
So that's how I would do it. But I look forward to one day. See, for me, astrology book is different, and then I'm going to be writing my NDE story, and that's a personal experience. But one day, my goal, I would love to write like a spiritual sci-fi book, or because it's different from a play, right? A book is so much more, but it's still, they're it's like, siblings or cousins, right? It's similar, but there's a different technique with the book. Have you ever thought of writing a specific play or movie screenplay?
I've thought of it a lot.
Okay.
I just haven't I haven't sat down to do it. I don't know how, actually. I mean, I can figure it out, but I've never done it.
Yeah, and they have different, things to help you with it's just about formatting it, and but you have the arc, obviously it's a little different, but it's I'm sure it's very similar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, do you have any, and sorry, you guys, I just have these questions. I'm gonna get back to the chat. I think I see some new questions. So, but do you have in your head a guideline, like, I don't know, like, okay, I don't want this book to be more than 400 pages or 300 or 500. Like, do you have an average that you've noticed of your books?
I try to make my books around 100,000 words. I don't know how many pages that is, but that's kind of a longer novel. But I tend to write. So,
could you give us an example? Like Echoes of Time, your first book.
That's 164,000 words, and I think the book is over here somewhere. I think it's 500 pages. I never looked to see how many pages a book is.
I'm kind of curious. Yeah, I think that's fascinating because, people don't realize it's. I'm sure for you it's different, right? Your wife birthed the children, but for a man, it's because that's how I felt when I wrote my play, and then I saw the actors perform it. It was like that was born from my brain, my soul. It was like my child, like and the same thing with my screenplay that got released in Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, and Showtime had some interest, and that's really like for you. Did you feel like, wow, I birthed that? Like I gave life to that, right?
You do, and then you get all like happy when you get great review. Then you get the worst down of downs, and you get a negative review, and it's like your baby. It's something. And Stephen King says the same thing, but he says he gives it to the world. He looks at it like, okay, now it's your turn. Once his baby's done, once he's done writing his baby,
right, he
lets the baby go out into the world, and so
and have its own life experience. I like that.
So that's kind of what you do, because you like a lot of times I think this baby is going to be the greatest baby ever to be written and read, and
right.
It doesn't. And then another time I'll be like, oh, I'll write this, and you're like, oh, why does everybody like it? So it's really interesting.
I love that. So you want to check in with any questions, you guys, and maybe even share in terms of your research. maybe some insights that people may not know about Lemuria and Atlantis. Because I think, right, a lot of people theorize that Atlantis is somewhere on like near either Atlanta, Florida, Bahamas, in that area. And then I believe Lemuria, you said people theorize that it's more the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah, there's a lot of for Atlantis or Atlanta. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different places that people think it's at or was.
Yes, I've
Some
heard
people
so
think
much.
it was- Some people think it was Antarctica. Some people think it was a Rosette structure over in Africa, and some people think it was the Azores in what are now the Azores in the Azores being a bigger continent at the time in Atlantic Ocean, and that's kind of what I believe, only because like Edgar Casey, some of my near-death experience group, our experienced friends have said that as well. Even over the Bermuda Triangle area was part of Atlantis, all the way up to where the Azores are and all that stuff. And
Okay, that's I could sense that or feel that. Yeah.
And so like the Bermuda Triangle is apparently supposed to be the big crystal that was Atlantis, this big crystal.
Wow.
That it sank and it's way deep in the ocean covered. But that's what some people theorize is the reason for the Bermuda Triangle anomalies and stuff like that. And Lemuria, I've always believed I'm a soul from Lemuria. And I don't know why. It just feels right. And I believe the Lemurian character I wrote in this book was kind of channeled. That was perhaps a past life character of me, or not me, of my soul group, or whatever you want to look at it. Like
well, for Scorpio risings, there's something very powerful with fifth house holds past life karmas, and having Pisces there, that water sign, that I could see where that connection to Lemuria or Atlantis would be really strong.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Have you ever been to Hawaii, or even because I know some people feel that Maui is like the where they had those those fire things or whatever, that Maui is like the heart chakra of our planet.
Yeah, I believe that. And my wife, who's born on September 10th, by the way.
Oh, shut up.
And she's from Hawaii. And so she took me there once. And when I landed, I'd never been to an island. Well, no, I've never been to Hawaii. And when I landed there, when I said I'm home, that's what I said.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must have felt like
I was at home. Like I live in Bali now, that doesn't feel like home, but Hawaii felt like home.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
that's powerful. Okay, that's your spark, because Alana and I meet so many clients and practitioners and people from Hawaii, and I just feel like I'm getting called and pulled and called and pulled, and it's like part of the mission and the destiny that I must go to Maui and Hawaii in general.
Oh, you haven't been there?
Never.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah,
I think you'd feel home there too.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, so let's. You want to check in and see if there's any questions?
Yeah. So Debbie says super chat $5 just because.
Oh, thank you, Debbie.
And then Carr says, Brandon, how did you get over your fear of putting your book out there? I have written a book and I'm trying to push through my fear to put this on Amazon.
That's
Can you give me any advice?
Yeah.
I'll give you advice. So it's simple to just put it out on Amazon. I understand you having that fear because I had that fear as well. One thing that I used to get over it was at first I used a pen name so people wouldn't know it was me.
Oh, really?
And then I had to face my fear. I literally, because that's.
Wait, you got to tell us the name. You can't tease us.
So back when I was in college and during my Reiki days, okay, this is going to sound really weird. So I'm really weird, guys.
That's all right.
There was this, I would go into meditations and there would be this being there in my meditations. I would just this face that would come through and speak to me. Okay. I would never speak in return because it was really weird. It would always like push me out, but it was very peaceful, calm, beautiful, loving thing. And when I asked, when I went to a psychic, one that I trusted, and she picked up on it immediately. I didn't even have to tell her.
Wow.
And she said that the name of that being is Omond, Omond. So I used Omond as my first name, and my last name was Heart. I just wanted to make it a heart because I'm kind of heart centered, I think.
Okay, Omond Heart. So that was the book, the first book?
Yeah, first book. But I eventually I faced my fear, and I'm like, I gotta really I have to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? If I want to be successful, I have to accept myself. I have to accept everything about me, the goods, the bads. Because my fear is, you know, the bad reviews and people, you know, saying how crappy you are.
Well, and that's hard when you are a creator, right?
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I get that. But the fact that you pushed through that and came over that, I think that's a testament to yourself. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got to be like, I don't care what these people think about me because they don't know you.
You get like that. You get like that. You're like, okay, I put this out. I know I'm going to get 100 bad reviews. I know I'm going to get 500 good reviews. So it's just how it is. And so, yeah. And so I don't really have great advice on how to get over that. I just made myself. I wish I could give you better advice.
You know, Car, you just got to do it like Nike, right? Because I know for me with my play, the Virgo mind, I was trying to make it so perfect. And at some point I just had to be like, because I even was taking a writing class and the teacher of the class was like, oh, it's too many characters. You got to take it down, you know, and it's got to be this. And I was just like, no, it has to be the 12 and da, 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 da. And, you know, I stuck to my guns. And then eventually I think for me, it was different because it was a play. And so having to pass it on to a director to bring it to the rest of the way to life, that helped. But, you know, just being the writer, you know, maybe share it with some people, you know. Do you read people's works and give people insight and tips? Could, you know, Cara send something to you or something? Or
yeah, I
know you're busy, so I don't want to.
I can do that. I don't have a lot of time, so it would take me a lot longer than you'd probably want.
Yeah, no, I get.
But I've done that.
Busy,
I just did that for somebody, but it took me they were expecting me to get it done in a week. It took me 2 months. So I just have so much on my plate. I wish.
Of course, yeah. You're an active professional writer, and that's awesome. So okay, so tell and maybe you can get back and see if there's another comment, but tell everybody, how many books have you written now? Like what?
I don't know, but I think it's over 40 or maybe 50 books. But not all of them are published. I think about 35 are published.
So are you sitting on books at home that you're just like contemplating to release?
There was a series I wrote that was actually is a bestseller, and in order to garner a lot of newsletter subscribers, I decided to unpublish that book and give it away for free. Those is a series, and give it away for free to anybody who. So I pretty much did Facebook ads, and I said, "Here's a free series in exchange for your email address, and you'll be put on my newsletter." Okay. And I write about this. I write about histories, mysteries in my newsletter. Plus, you know, I'll tell you my books when they come out.
And that a lot of people.
Yeah, and I got 22,000 subscribers in not a short time, but over a couple of years. Wow. And then anyway, that's one way you can get a big subscriber base, and not all of them stay, of course, but a lot of them do. So, yeah.
And what was this? What was the book?
Just keep giving them away.
Well, what was this book that was that you gave away? Or
I was it has nothing to do with what I write now, but I'd written it. It was something near and dear to my heart because I was massaging this woman who was trying to help out. She was against the sex trade, you know, the sex stuff, and she had an organization, and I wanted to give my proceeds to her for her organization. So I wrote sci-fi about that. And my main character, for some reason, I have no idea, it was silly, I made the main character this fox being, It's like an alien who's a fox from a different planet, and
Really?
he goes around and he's part of an organization that stops this slave and sex trades in the galaxy.
Wow.
And so it did really well. And what happens sometimes is you have a book that does really well, and then it suddenly starts to slip, and less people buy it. And it got to the point where it was a bestseller, but nobody's really buying it anymore. So I just,
You know what that sounds like to me? That would be an amazing animation, an anime like series or cartoon story or movie.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That sounds like that would be freaking awesome. Okay, so you want to check in with the chat? You guys have any questions before we say goodbye to Brandon? We can't keep him forever, so ask away. But that's a great question from Carr. So Carr, you heard Brandon. Just release it from your heart.
Alana says you need to get with Joy Baker. She is amazing. Will help you clear those blocks. I would definitely love that.
Yeah. You remember Joy came to the tribe, and she'll be coming on the podcast in next week or so. She'll be coming on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Joy will be on, so make sure you guys watch that. One thing that I love, and this like humbles me and touches my heart. Alana and I created, you guys, this community. It's called the Knowledge is Love Tribe Community, and Brandon is a very active and important member of that tribe. And just tell them a little insight, because I know like the Facebook Buddy Boss interface, it's all about us like being more active and stuff. Right now it seems like it's just like me and Queen Bee that are really active in there or whatever, but you've contributed and shared and stuff. But the magic that we have each and every tribe meeting, just briefly like share that with the people, because I think your perspective would be so important, because you even contributed a lot in one of the tribe meetings, but just explain to people like that kind of magic that we have there.
It's literally my favorite thing to go to. So when you have it, I get so excited. And when I can't make it, I'm so bummed.
I know, I get so excited too. It's like,
and sometimes I'll be excited. I'll be excited. I'm ready for it. And then something comes up. I'm like, no, I can't make it. But yeah, it's what I've been searching for. It's like a like-minded group of wonderful people. Everybody in there I absolutely love. Yeah. I don't always talk in there, but when I do, it's met with curiosity and warmth and acceptance, which is not normal in my regular life. I don't talk. I talk about stuff in there, or we talk about stuff in there that I can't talk to my friends or anybody.
Well, and that was kind of the thing that was birthing in my head, right? I feel like, one, it's so important for us to exchange information and truths and questions and thoughts, but knowledge with one another. And we have been so like, it's beyond, I don't even like to say blessed, but so guided with so much love and information from people like you, from Alana, from Sabale Pure, Queen Bee, Numeralytics, Nettie Nettles, Victoria Richardson, Joy Baker, Portia Cooper. Like, we've had so many people just share so much knowledge and truth and wisdom that it's been, I totally agree with you. And I think that each person also contributes so much, and the purity, right? That's what I love. Because sometimes in a tribe meeting, tell them we'll laugh. Some people may cry. Like, it's everything, right?
You have it all. You have a family.
Yeah.
And you have, what's really cool is it's a like-minded family. So we're all teaching.
And no judgment, no hate, no shade. It's
just all talking the same language. And so language that we understand. And if we talk that language outside of the group, not everybody understands. And so that's what's very helpful for us, I think, in the community, in your group.
Thank you. I really feel so proud, and I loved, and my goal, you guys, and you guys here at the this episode, and people watching the replay, definitely come join the tribe. It's really beautiful. We got tribe meetings coming up on the 9th and the 23rd, and then amazing guests coming up in February and the 6th and the 20th. And we really do share and learn, and there's questions, but there's so much and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. So what would be the one thing you say that you haven't written about yet, that it's in your heart or your mind, that one day, whether it's in a year or two or whatever, that you are going to tackle?
So this is what I'll say right now is what I usually, these are the kind of books I write.
Okay.
And besides the military ones, these are the kind of books I write. So the next book that's been on my mind for a long time, for years, is The True History of Mars. And so we have a lot of lore with Mars, but there's like the Sumerians even have the Sumerian tablets talk about Mars, and that there was we have an asteroid belt between Mars and Saturn. I'm sorry, Mars and Jupiter.
Mars and Jupiter, yeah, I just heard about this recently. Yeah.
So and that they believe the Sumerian tablets, or the Sumerian, whatever, the Mesopotamians believed that that used to be a planet called Murdoch or Tiamat, and that the reason why we have all this explosion of asteroids was because that was a planet. There was a planet there, and they believed that there was people living on that planet and people living on Mars. And then when they believed that Tiamat, well, not they, but anyway, many believed that Tiamat did explode, or Murdoch did explode for various reasons. I would write that there would be some cataclysms that would happen between both Mars and Tiamat. And so I'd write this, but I'd write it in a different way, where I would have it where somebody our present time goes up there, who's an archaeologist that is there to
like maybe a little time travel
to map out they're not going to astro travel. They'll actually go there via and they'll map out their job is to map out the area, but then they start finding archaeological sites, ruins, and things like that.
Well, because there's rumors, right, that they have found that, number one, it's a planet that's warm, that a human life could live there, right? I think it's like 64 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe, or something like that.
It's not too bad there.
Yeah. And that also that there's glaciers of ice to show that there was water there at some time. Yeah. And it seems like that there's life.
Water in there. There's but and who knows, there could still be life there. And who knows what we're not being told. I mean, there's all of this stuff.
Well, and then I've even heard people theorize their connection to Mars with Elon Musk, and then even Mars maybe being around or above or part of the ice wall too. So many things, but it makes sense to me because that is our chart ruler, right? That you have the connection to Mars. I've always had a connection to Mars, and we're both Scorpio risings. So
I didn't know I had that in my chart. Okay.
Oh yeah. So it does make sense, and that's pretty powerful. So I'd read that book and I'd buy that book. That sounds really amazing. So any last questions you see in the chat, and then we can release you to your family. Do you guys have any last?
Let's see. 100,000 words per 300. Okay, my mom said, sorry, I'm going through this.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
I guess, can we still sign up for your newsletter? Wealth Mobsters wrote that, and
and that's Lewis, Lewis for the tribe,
So I'm redoing my website, so it doesn't look so good, but you can go to
down below. Brandon Ellis writes. So you guys can reach out to him and
sign up for my newsletter.
Can they sign up for the newsletter there?
Yeah, you can sign up newsletter there. And what I write about is, like, for example, I just wrote about I forgot what I just wrote about. But I write about kind of ancient archaeology, ancient history stuff that is not mainstream. So it's
now. Do any of your books really jump into ancient Kemet, Egypt, and things like that as well?
Yeah.
Which book is that?
That's Echoes of Time, and the second book in that, and the third book in that. Kemet is where I believe a lot of the after Atlantis fell is where a lot of the even Edgar Casey says that a lot of the priests went down there to help seed Atlantis civilization more. Hall of Records is there. Hall of Records is also in the Yucatan, and so you have Atlanteans and Lemurians after their high-tech civilizations fell, trying to seed their civilizations again in other areas of the world, and we got pyramids all over the world. So yeah, I have Kemet a lot is also called Chem, but I call it Kemet in my book. So, yeah. So that's in my book. And then I write my most famous book before this one was called Project Atlantis, and that was about the pyramids and explained what those were about, not in a mainstream way. So I think a lot of people like that. And so,
well, that sounds fascinating. And that's the place where my mother-in-law went about 2 years ago, and I'm dying to go. Alana and I'd love to go to Egypt, and for me, I think it would just be a remembering. But I know that some of the things they've been finding in the last year, right, and going down like so far down, and they even found like the blue water down in there, and they're realizing this had nothing to do with mummies. These were energy conductors, right, for free energy. And there's like not just beyond the hieroglyphics in there, you've also got the constellations and connected to the 12 zodiac signs. Astrology.
It used to be. So there's something called Left Eye of Horus, which was an ancient mystery school in Kemet, and they use the pyramids, the pyramid technology for spiritual advancement and spiritual, and so it's not just the power generator, it's a lot of things. Even
so much.
It's amazing.
It's incredible, right? And harnessing the free energy that Tesla and others have theorized and tapped into, and that is being hidden from us, the regular people, right? Because it's out there, and we need it. It's time. So I think that's going to be fascinating. So if we sign up for your newsletter, you share short writings there or information. And we also get privy to upcoming book releases and things like that. How often do you send out updates or little writings or things?
Before I came to the holidays to the USA, I was writing probably 2 or 3 newsletters a month.
Oh, cool.
And now I've probably done 1.
That's okay. Everybody understands. It's the holidays. You gotta enjoy your family, man. See, that's the thing, you guys. You see how dedicated he is? That's the problem. It's not a problem, but us Scorpio risings, we don't know how to just sit down and relax. And
not
also,
at all.
You being a Gemini, me being a Virgo, the mercurial mind, it's a lot, right? Like it is a lot. So let me ask you this: what drew you to astrology?
I think just I've done numerology for 15, 20 years.
Okay.
And not for people. I mean, I do it for people, but I learned it 20 years ago.
Okay.
And read 50 books on it. But astrology, I think, and don't get mad at me, numerologists, I think astrology is a bit more in depth and a bit less general, more deep, precise and accurate. And so that's just, I don't know. I've always wanted to learn to do astrology, and I've always thought I have so much on my plate, it's just too much to learn. And I think there's so much more truth in astrology than most other things. Yeah. And so I just really gravitate
fascinated and drawn to it.
Yeah. That's kind of like, I think that's why. I don't know why I'm drawn to it, but I think that's why.
Yeah. Well, I think that one thing that I realize, there's a lot of memory. Like I love the numerology, and I love it. Like when Queen Bee breaks it down, and she'll be coming to the tribe in January on the 23rd.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. Oh my God, you guys.
Yes. I mean,
she's one of my favorites. Like the way, and that's the thing. Like I respect that so much, because it's like her mind is like a data center for numbers. And, when you can master it like that and learn it, like I just get blown away, because I know it, right? But I know on such a basic level. But the combination of the two, and then I get interested when people do stuff like the human design and cardology. We're going to have somebody, Jazz Aphrodite, will be coming to share about cardology. And we have Victoria Richardson, the rapper Renegade, with human design. this all happens in the tribe, and that's what's so beautiful, you know. And then sometimes I teach lessons as well. So, you know, I'm so glad that you also bring some of this into your work and your writings. Have you ever brought in, like on a heavy level, in any of your book series, the astrology and numerology?
I include numerology in every single book. I don't think anybody knows. There's
Cool.
numbers there that you'll see in there, and there's
Okay.
I put them in there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's also so 9 is, so 1 is kind of like it's 9 is the culmination of everything. It's kind of like the ending. Everything is resolved, kind of thing.
Yeah, completion.
So you'll see that a lot in my books. You'll see like numbers that equal 9.
Okay.
And 5 is equivalent to change.
Yes.
So you'll see that in my books. And
okay. All right. So what, you guys,
I do.
listen, you got to get the Brandon Ellis books and read and look for the numerology. Do you think maybe in your future, maybe there's an astrology book or connection or something in the future?
If you want to help me with it, because I don't know much about it other than
Listen, you know, I think the Virgo Gemini mind, you know, coming together, that would be powerful. I would love to do that, because I have so many ideas for taking astrology into the story form that no one has really done yet in that way, you know. And so, yeah, that would be more than fun.
I would like to learn more about what you mean.
Oh my God. Well, we'll talk about it when I see you in person, because, you know, that's the thing. So for me as a creative person, you know, I say this like as a humble brag, but I really mean it. Like inside my cranium, I can do an entire television network. So
Well,
I have in here murder mysteries, short stories, reality shows, romantic comedies, regular movies, dramas, just, you know, all types of stuff that I could, you know, do my own network. Now, for me, writing it all, that would be the challenge and the hard part. But in terms of the outlines, the concepts of this, it's all in here. And it's like, and the characters and stuff, because for me, I've always gotten those downloads. You know, my Uranus is in the 12th house in Libra.
okay.
So your Uranus and Scorpio on the ascendant. And so whether you have it in the 1st or the 12th, you will get a ton of downloads.
Oh yeah.
So it's something that, you know, is really powerful. I dreamt about 9/11 2 years before it happened, and I dreamt about my wife years before I met her.
Wow.
You know, so it's really it's powerful. And then I freaked her out, because when we were dating, she was in Colorado, I was in New York, and this is really funny, you guys. There was like some ex-boyfriend trying to linger. I would tell her when he was going to call her, and I did it like 2 or 3 times. And he did, and it freaked her out. Alana, she'll say it maybe in the chat. She thought that him and I knew each other, and we were playing a game on her.
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I would just get these downloads, like these premonitions, right? And I would just be like, "Oh, this guy's going to call her." And I told her, I said, "Listen, just so you know, so and so, he's going to call you and da 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 da, and try to convince you to, you know, not to connect with me and to get back with him or whatever." And then the next day, he called.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I don't take the credit for it. I'm like, that's my higher self or God or what, you know, whatever. But I got the information and I was right. You know, what can you say? You know?
Yeah, totally.
So, you know, so I love your passion, and I love that you, I don't want to say submitted. I feel like you committed to write from your heart. And so I applaud you and congratulate you for that. And I wish you all the best with your book series. And is there a book or a series besides Project X, Jackson Stone, and now Echoes of Time that you haven't mentioned that may spark the interest of our audience, that I think could be, or that you may think that could be something that, you know, people could, you know, really be inspired by or learn about? I mean, because you've written so many books, maybe there's one we haven't mentioned yet. So please, if there is, share that with us. And is that also on Amazon for us to get?
This was another book that was a bestseller, but because of COVID, it started getting really bad reviews. It's called Martian Plague. The Martian Plague.
Oh,
And it's actually it's about a plague, but a lot of it deals with an archaeologist that is searching the solar system for. Have you ever heard of the crystal skulls?
I'm not sure. Sounds familiar, but I can't say that I do know it.
The crystal skulls actually deals with, and not too many people know this, but I just know this anyway. A lot of research. It deals with the like the blood of Christ, the holy family, all that.
Holy Grail, yeah.
Yeah, the Holy Grail, and even some traditions think that the Holy Grail is a crystal skull, and a lot of what the Knights Templar were searching for way back during the Crusades were crystal skulls and the Ark of the Covenant and stuff like that. Which this book is about, like that stuff: Ark of the Covenant, crystal skulls. Even the Freemasons, the higher degree Freemasons, believe that there's more than one ark out there. So in this book I was using that to put
see, now that's like some Dan Brown. When I think of his books, what was the famous one that Tom Hanks was in the movie?
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code, yeah, which really fascinated me. And the next one after I didn't like as much, but Da Vinci Code like had me every word, I read the book, I saw the movie, like I loved it. So
I took a class from Dan Brown, and one thing he said was he wrote Da Vinci Code, and his editor told him to erase the last 150 pages of the book when he was done, and he did, and he was glad he did. Really? So for those who want to be writers, editors can be very helpful. So
oh no, of course. I think, sometimes we're going to be too married to what we create, and we can't see it objectively. So you need to have editors and other eyes and other thinkers, to help you to organize and present something. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And an editor will really help. And if there's some things that you disagree with, you don't have to accept the editor's advice. So it's no big deal.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Wow. So, okay. So now tell us the name of that one again.
Martian Plague.
Martian Plague?
Martian Plague.
Martian Plague. Okay. All right. That sounds powerful. So, oh my God. Brandon, thank you so much. This has been more than fun. Feel like we've been waiting to do this for a while, but it was better than I even imagined it. And I just want you to share with everybody, we're in a universal 1 year, really a 10-year, right?
Yeah.
0 is the binary code with the 1 in creation. And, soon to be a fire horse year. Just share from Brandon Ellis's perspective, the writer, the husband, the father, for the collective, what would be your thoughts for 2026 and the message of hope? Because there's a lot going on, right?
There's a lot going on,
but a lot going on, and I try to tell people all the time,
I think the news is going to make it worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, we can't pay attention.
I would say a couple of things.
Okay.
Don't focus on the news, because 95 to 99% of humans are good.
Yes.
Go about want the same thing, which is peace, love, happiness, and a roof over our head and meals on our tables.
Yeah.
And we just want to get along. And also with that, always follow your heart, kind of like what you told me. Because we all have a song to sing, so we need to sing our song. Kind of how I guess
I love that. That's so true. Okay.
So yeah.
I like that, man. So I guess, I have to laugh astrologically. I'm like, are you ready for Uranus and Gemini? Are you ready for Saturn, Neptune coming in Aries? Like, any thoughts on that? Are you privy to it? I mean, I've been talking about it, but are you feeling anything of that?
I kind of, I think, and I don't know if it's anxiety or nerves. It's something that I've been feeling.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know too much. So yeah, I think you'd be able to enlighten us on that a lot more than I did.
Well, we'll definitely talk about it a lot more in the tribe. And, I thank you for not only sharing your truth and your story, but really being that living inspiration, because it is something for you to be so proud of, your writing ability, your dynamic gifts. But I think for me, getting to, know you more as a person in the tribe, I think that, well, I don't think, I know that you have such great wisdom. But I think what I respect so much, and I know my wife does, is the kindness and the compassion, because you really do. Sometimes you may be a man of few words, but whenever you do share and speak, it's so thoughtful, so much wisdom, but it does always come from your heart. And I just want everybody to sign up for your newsletter and to purchase your books, because you will really get an insight of his heart and his work. And I can't wait to get into a couple of different book series, and I'm looking forward to this one because I can get to enjoy the audiobook, because you said the audiobook will be released soon too, right?
Yeah, in January 29th.
Okay, so yeah, so I just cannot wait, and I just thank you for coming to the Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast, sharing your heart, your work, and I just wish you nothing but the best, continued success with Echoes of Time and all the other future works. And you'll have to come back again for that next iteration of the next series.
All right.
Is that going to be, so after this, when this is done, will it be again? Are you just kind of, you're not stuck, but you're married to the series, not a one-off?
Yeah, I'm.
Now what the next thing will be is?
I can do anything. So
Yeah.
I've never done a one-off, so I could try that.
Well, listen, you got to do what you like doing. So I'm just curious, so I just look forward to you, and I look forward to joining the newsletter. And so Brandon, again, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for watching. Please reach out to BrandonEllisWrites.com. It's down below. Do me a favor, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Go follow him on his Facebook group, and go to his website and just join the newsletter, his Facebook group. But also, please leave us a comment so this show grows in the algorithms. Once we end the show in 15 seconds, come back, leave a comment, leave a question or anything for Brandon. He'll once he's done traveling, he'll check the podcast and maybe answer any of your questions. If you think of something afterwards, you're like, oh, I should have asked him, you could write it down below in the comment section. But this was really powerful and so much fun. So Brandon, my friend, thank you, man. Thank you. This was great. And I hope you continue to share your powerful stories and your imagination and your downloads with us and the collective. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
All right, friend. You guys, thank you for watching episode 413. That's an 8. Right, I like that. 8th house, Gemini. There's always symmetry and connections, and he's a Scorpio rising, the 8th sign. So there are no accidents, right? I didn't pick, to have him on 413. That's the way it works, you guys. So the numerology lines up, the astrology, all of it. Okay, and it is a Tuesday, the day of Mars, and that's our chart ruler. Bing bong. There's no accidents, right? So I just love it. So again, thank you guys for watching, and Brandon, safe travels, and I look forward to meeting you in person very soon.
Yes.